everybody to the Stolen Land Hoarded Resources UNTOUR. We're here to propose and to unwash this clan mark of Hollywood and the music and film industrial complex, which intentionally silences, destroys, and acts as an agent of erasure of not only Indigenous people and black and brown people, but homeless people and poor people. Continues and perpetrates the lie that we are any different because we don't have access to a roof.
Each Stolen Land UNTOUR, which is what we're on right now, presents a series of demands to the people who we're going to see.
We're multiracial, multi-ethnicity, coming from different levels of poverty. Some of us still in poverty. Some of us living a one-pay check from poverty and being, like many of our relatives, live here in Skid Row, different parts of the Tongva Territory. We came from the Bay Area, San Francisco, to share these beliefs of justice, of standing for our relatives, our house's relatives, even if we're not related in terms of blood or even that we know people. We don't have to know people to see the humanness of someone.
We present you wealth hoarders and land occupiers of occupied Tongva, aka Beverly Hills, with a proposal to redistribute, reparate, and or begin a dialogue of healing from the disease of wealth and or resource hoarding.
I absolutely can't stress this enough, that if there are not radical sharing going on, poor and houseless people cannot build our own self-determined movements. We are not asking for a handout. No. We are not trying to be saved. Please don't come up and say, how can I help you? How you can help me is to walk shoulder to shoulder with us as Indigenous and houseless people so that we can build our own. So we ask you and we invite you and we hope that everybody here, including the tourist industrial complex, join us in this prayer march into the wealth hoarding neighborhood. Thank you, everybody. Houseless people, houses set up, swept like we are trash.
Land back.
Land back.
Proposing that SillyCon city gives at least 100 of the abandoned surplus buildings to houseless folks so they could build their own solutions like houseless and formerly houseless folks that we call homefulness.
Two models that homeless and First Nation folks are presenting is the poor people-led self-determined movement called Homefulness in Deep East Oakland, Wishing, Ohlone land.
A landless people's land liberation self-determined movement currently housing 13 formerly houseless families and elders. A school and a community garden for the community, entirely funded by community reparations by Poor Magazine Solidarity Family, as well as launch homefulness movements in every city where unhoused and First Nations people dwell.
So we also want to acknowledge that Poor Magazine is here, not as saviors, as poor and houseless Indigenous people. We can save ourselves. But we just need to lift up the voices and the solutions that are here.
In LA, everybody knows it's a crisis. There's a lot going on. People are steady getting evicted. It's steadily going up, but we got teams out here, organizations that's really for the people. We got to come together and we have to take action to address these issues. We can no longer overlook them because, as you see, it's at our front door. It's on our doorstep.
Hello, sir. We are here. We come in peace. We represent the black and brown Indigenous people. We are here to ask ask you for radical redistribution. Maybe you have too many homes, maybe you have too many cars. As you know, there are so many people, especially the people of the First Nations people, that are still sleeping on the streets because they have been displaced. We are demanding the extreme wealth hoarders and the land occupiers in this town that led to the displacement and removal of so many poor and houseless people to support the building of Homefulness in occupied Tongva with Tongva Nation and houseless people.
So we say this with love. It's not a calling out, it's a calling in. To consider sharing some of what you have with folks who have none. As we walk into this wealth hoarding enclave of so much excess, we will be presenting each of these households with this proposal. Not to take what they have, but to radically share with people who have nothing. To share from somebody who has maybe 3 or 4 homes with people who have none. This is not a radical idea. It is a logical idea. And so it's a calling in, not a calling out. We've all been lied to in capitalism. We've all been told that success is equated with having more things. We represent Homefulness and Tour Magazine, Houseless and Poor People, trying to propose a different model. Hey, excuse me. Live on MamaEarth now, who is in so much pain. So we are just inviting you in. We hope that you read what we have here. This is a calling in, not a calling out. And it's with love and respect.
Land back.
Land back.
Black land.
Black land.
Stop sweeping us like we're trash.
Capitalism has killed everything. Our humility, our patience, and oftentimes our love.
Land back.
Land back.
Black land.
And we just wanted to give you something.
We just want to offer, ma'am, we just want to offer you. Those are people with the arms.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Immediate.
It was way too hostile already.
As someone who was born in a household with stolen wealth on stolen land in Pacific Palisades, which is near so many sacred sites of Native peoples of this place, there's way more than they need here. And it is causing suffering to Native peoples of this place and to their own souls. And for the first time in over 180 years, lands have been returned to Tongva people rightfully. The first time, 1 acre of the 2.5 million acres of ancestral homelands. The Tongva Conservancy is an all-Tongva-led board with the Tongva Land Return Coordinator committed to returning lands to Tongva people all throughout Tovangar, the ancestral territories of the Tongva people. Committed to healing the land, returning native plants to the land, building housing for tribal members so people can return to their ancestral homelands who have been displaced, and for returning cultural burns in Southern California to save this place from continued destruction, desecration, and to return native plants, native relatives to these ancestral lands for healing for all people, because when native peoples have lands in their ancestral hands again, all people heal.
A dream, a vision that some folks have been hoping for and asking for is a homefulness in Tongva land. If our relatives from Tongva Nation are all okay also with us spiritually asking permission and guidance, because that's how homefulness is done. We not only listen to our First Nations relatives, but they walk with us in spiritual unselling.
I call upon my ancestors for protection today. First people could be the first teachers. People on this land do not look at land and water as relatives. That's the only thing I want to do with my life, is to change the hearts and minds of people who now call this place home, to see water as not a resource, but a relative. And how do we plan for a relative when we change what we think about water, which is not much? A lot of people here don't even think about water, because when you turn on the faucet, it's always there. Our society is so fragile that people don't even understand what it means to not have showers or how to flush a toilet. Our houseless relatives understand what that means and what that could do to your mental health. So my goal, my heart work is to really help people that call this place home to understand water as their relative, not just a resource.
People with disabilities that are houseless are the highest population that gets shot by police constantly every day, and nobody wants to talk about that. We had an incident a couple months ago that this black man on his stump in a wheelchair got shot by LAPD right here in LA. So we're here at Point Magazine to say that homefulness can be and should be here in LA. It's not the politician's solution, it's our solution. And we did it in Oakland and we can do it here in LA.
Is anybody home or here with love and respect? Oh, hey, that's who got us on next door.
So with so much happening, as you guys know, in this country right now, so much hatred that's happening. 17 states, that's about 1/3 of all the states in the United States of America. 17 states banning gender affirming care, and with 4 states making it a felony to offer such care. As a member of the transgender community here in California, which is considered to be a safe state, we do feel responsible for our siblings to create space, for them to come and create a new life here in a safe and secure community. So, City of West Hollywood, very recently, they declared themselves a sanctuary city for transgender people, which is a victory, but at the same time, such declaration is empty without actions to back it up. Because, frankly, with the average rent of $3,261 in West Hollywood, that's unaffordable to many. I experienced that firsthand. 2 years ago, I lost my job of 21 years. And the only difference between me and Barco Brown and Jordan Neely is I have a friend who owns a property in West Hollywood who let me stay in her place. Otherwise, I would be homeless today. I may not be alive today. So I think we have to realize how close we are to poverty and homelessness. I firmly believe, as a transgender person of color, it's time for us, regardless whether you are transgender, cisgender, LGBTQ, straight, black, brown, white, Asian like myself, to come together because we really need each other. We are at the point of destruction, we are at the point of extinction as a human race.
So I'm inviting everyone to lift up your ancestors who have transitioned. I'm going to start it off with Mama D, the visionary of Homefulness.
Tyrell Wilson.
Ashe.
Luis Dimitri Góngora Pratt.
Ashe.
Franco Brown.
Artemio Soberano.
Frederick Douglass.
Cesar Chavez.
Harriet Tubman.
Ashe.
Oscar Grant.
Eliza Thompson.
Ewing Newton.
Jacqueline Moore.
All the relatives that we don't name, but who die every day on these stolen streets in occupied Turtle Island. We're lifting you up. We're holding you in our hearts and asking you to walk with us today as we propose a different way than wealth hoarding, land stealing, killing, and terrorizing. Ashe, aho, oh my God.
Acknowledge the East. In the Mexican tradition, the East is where we honor all the men warriors,
all those uncles and papas who are being good role models for our young men, all those men and warriors who are fighting against machismo, against patriarchy, who are doing positive things in our community.
Also putting prayers for a lot of the houseless folks, you know, who are facing the poverty, the harsh reality of colonization of this concrete, and again putting those prayers and changes for all of those black and brown communities who are struggling through poverty, for racial profiling, all of that these colonizations bring to our people.
And the least is to acknowledge that energía. ¡Tómate! The West is when we honor all the women warriors, all the mamas, the aunties. And I'm going to ask my sister Tanya if she can share some words.
First, I want to honor all of our homeless mothers who hold on by any means necessary, who feel like there's no more energy to keep on keeping on. But I also want to call out to the wealth hoarding mamas who are confused by capitalism, who are also lost in the idea that they need more things to feel better, when really what they need is to radically share with one another. There's folks on the street that are dying. We're just offering a different way to live.
How are we going to be facing the Lord?
Lifting up those elders, our grandmothers, our grandfathers, our uncles, our aunts, those elders who have gone that journey before us, who returns from that journey to teach us, to give us the tools that we need to go further in our future. Are we listening? Are we listening to their stories, to their struggles? We'll take those stories, we'll take their struggles so that we are equipped to go forward in our present and our future.
I just want to know what you guys are watching. I just want to know what you guys are protesting. That's it.
No, because of the homeless situation, we're really concerned about it, and we know that in this neighborhood people have more than others. So we're just giving them the opportunity, offer them a medicine of radical redistribution. We come from the Bay Area. That's how serious we are. We've already built some housing for houseless people. So we're just offering this to other communities peacefully. Thank you.
Now we're facing the South. The South in our tradition is when we honor all the 7th generation, the young ones, the children. I'm going to ask my brother Akil if he can say any words for the children, the young ones.
This is the South, the side of the children, the new generations, the energy, the innocence, the curiosity, and the future.
For the residents of this beautiful house, we'll come in peace with the calling in, an offering to learn about a different way to live.
In our tradition, the main traditions, we always honor the cosmos, the moon, the sun.
This is the direction of the sky. So not you, the sun. This is the direction that we look up for when we need guidance. And the direction that's there for us no matter what. Tómate.
Thank you for giving me the space to offer that today.